Hi there, gorgeous! Hope you're having a fabulous day wherever you may be. In today's video, I am sharing some very common beauty myths with you, and I'm going to be letting you know if they are fact or fiction. I know you've heard a lot of these. I personally have myself, and for the longest time, I never really researched the reason why some of these weren't true and why some of these were true. So it was rather fascinating for me to put the content together for this video. And I think you'll be surprised with a lot of the information I have to share with you today. Beauty myth number 1. Sleeping on a silk pillowcase is better for your skin and your hair as opposed to a traditional cotton pillowcase. Now, this is not a myth, this is an actual fact. Before I get into the why, I have some really fascinating facts about silk to share with you. I want to let you know that this video is sponsored by Lily Silk, and the products I'll be showing you are from this brand, and I will have them listed and linked for you below in the description box if you're interested in checking them out for yourself. Did you know that silk fibers are the most similar in structure to those of your own hair strands? I did not know this, but this is what helps keep your hair smooth as it moves across the pillowcase and helps to maintain the integrity of the hair shaft. And because silk is a naturally smooth surface, your hair has less breakage and it also produces less split ends because it's not being tugged by, say, a cotton fiber pillowcase, which is a little rougher by comparison. I did not know this. I mean, I've heard silk pillowcases were better for the longest time, but it wasn't until I tried it myself where I was like, oh wow, these are really, really nice. Silk pillowcases also have surprisingly amazing results for your skin. And when you think about it, your face is touching your pillow for a good 8 hours every night. I mean, most of us should be sleeping for 8 hours, but when you think about it from that perspective, the fabric that you're sleeping on is essential. Cotton is one of those fibers that will absorb whatever it touches. So if you think about it, it's absorbing the oil, the dirt, the moisturizer that you're putting on your face before you go to bed at night. And over time, that can clog pores and give you breakouts. By comparison, silk pillowcases are less absorbent. They're not going to take on the oil and the dirt that you left on your face if you didn't wash your face before you went to bed. They're not going to absorb in the moisturizer that you applied to your skin before you went to bed. So your skin is actually getting everything that it needs from the moisturizer instead of your pillow sucking it right out of your face. I didn't know that. I thought that was really fascinating. The other thing I discovered is that silk is hypoallergenic. The fibers have a natural resistance to dust mites, mold, and other allergens. So if you suffer from allergies, silk is an excellent fabric to sleep on. So knowing now how great silk is for your hair and for your skin, I also want to mention these silk scrunchies from Lily Silk. They have so many and different colors to choose from. I have become really attached to scrunchies lately. In the past year, I want to say I've been buying them more and more since they've been coming back. I'm a 90s kid. I grew up with scrunchies. I've always had a love for them. And what I love the most about silk scrunchies in particular is that they're not going to pull and tug on your hair. They're very easy to get out, less breakage, less damage, and I absolutely love these. So if you're interested in trying some silk pillowcases for yourself or you want to get some silk scrunchies, highly recommend Lily Silk to you. You can use this code right here to get 12% off of your order. I will have all the information listed for you below in the description box. The next myth that I want to share with you is that alcohol is bad for your skin. This is one that I hear so many times in skincare videos that I have made. There's this one comment that always comes up, alcohol is so bad for your skin. And I believed it for a while, but this is actually a myth. The truth is that some alcohols can be drying, yes, but in a properly formulated product, alcohol helps to increase the penetration of key ingredients. Fatty alcohols in particular are non-irritating and very beneficial for the skin. So just want to open up your mind there and realize that not every alcohol is bad. And if you see something listed in the ingredient list of a product and you're concerned about it, research it. Figure out what it is, what it actually does, and you might be surprised at what you find. Now, this next myth I have to share with you, and it is a myth, was one that I believed for the longest time, and I avoided using this makeup product specifically based on this myth alone, and that is dimethicone will clog your pores. If you're not familiar with what dimethicone is, it's the ingredient that you'll find in silicone-based makeup primers for the face, and I feel like it's the one chief ingredient that helps to extend the wear time of makeup on the skin. Now, it's a pretty misunderstood ingredient, and I agree that I didn't understand it either, but it's been accused of suffocating the skin, causing breakouts, clogging pores, etc., and that's not actually true. Dimethicone is actually very breathable. All it does is prevent water loss. I didn't know that. And dimethicone also has an incredibly low allergic reaction rate of 1 in 100,000. So knowing this information now, I feel like I am not going to be afraid to use my silicone-based makeup primers on an everyday basis. I never experienced breakouts with using them every day, but I was always afraid to based on this myth. And so I feel like this has taken away a lot of that fear for me. So bring on the primers. Someone's watering the lawn, excuse the hose. Now, did you know that taking an antihistamine can help to reduce redness on the face? I did not know this. I mean, it makes sense. It was very eye-opening for me. It was said that it's a great way to get rid of redness on the face after extreme exercise, which that happens to me. It doesn't last that long, so I don't really feel like I need to do it. But it can also help people who suffer from rosacea. And I know there are people that have a lot of redness on their skin, and color correctors and makeup sometimes are not enough to help combat that redness. So always consult with your physician before taking anything like an antihistamine, but I wanted to put it out there for those who may have extreme rosacea. The next myth that I want to share with you is shaving makes your hair grow back darker and thicker. This is a lie. It's such a lie. The big thing when I went to high school was shaving your arms. All of my friends were doing it. Everyone was shaving their arms, and I never ever did it because I was afraid that the hair would grow back darker and thicker, and I didn't want to look like Wolfman. And I mean, come on, it's enough for me to keep up with 6 feet worth of legs. Do I really need to add in my arms to this equation? Anyway, my point is that shaving will not alter the thickness nor the color of your hair. If that were the case, you would see all of these bald men shaving their head. And you don't see that. And here is why this is a myth. When you shave, you cut the follicle, but you leave the stub, which is thicker and darker at the ends. But when it grows out, it's not thicker and darker. By comparison though, if you wax your hair, it will grow back thinner and finer. And if you've ever waxed, then you've probably experienced that. And that is absolutely true because waxing damages the hair follicle over time. So if you have been afraid of shaving some part of your body because you're afraid it's going to grow back thicker and darker, don't worry about it. You'll be fine. Another common myth that I know you have heard, I've heard it so many times, is that oily skin does not need moisturizer. This could not be further from the truth. Oily skin needs moisturizer just as much as someone with dry skin does, and here is why. Did you know that when your skin is stripped of its natural oils by harsh cleansers, harsh skincare products, it will actually overcompensate and produce more oil? And the key to balancing oil production for those of us with oily skin is to use a water-based hydrating product. You want to look for ingredients like hyaluronic acid and layer it under an oil-based moisturizer. This will seal the moisture into the skin and reverse the overcompensation from taking place. I made a video last year, if I'm not mistaken, on the top best eye creams under $20 that you could find in the drugstore, and that video has done extremely well. But there's one comment that I'm always hearing on that video, and it's that you don't need a special eye cream. And I keep hearing this over and over and over, so I wanted to look into it more, despite my own personal beliefs, and this is absolutely a fact. You don't need a separate eye cream. And when you think about it, your eye area is the same as the rest of your face. It's just thinner and more delicate by comparison. So as long as you're using a moisturizer that has beneficial ingredients, you can carry that up into your eye area also. And while we're on the subject, because this was another common comment that I saw in that video, you don't have to use your ring finger to apply product around the eye area. You really don't. A lot of people are under that misconception, and I was guilty of this too, thinking that the ring finger is the weakest finger on your hand, and that's why a lot of people recommend applying your products around your eyes with it. But as long as you're careful with the amount of pressure you're applying and you pat gently, you shouldn't have an issue. So note to self, still love my eye creams though. You can't make me stop. The last myth I want to share with you is that pores can be shrunk over time. This is one that I have not believed for years and years and years. I remember I researched it a long time ago because I suffer from enlarged pores, and I was literally trying to find out, is there a way that I can shrink my pores and make them look smaller? No, there isn't. There is no truth to this myth whatsoever. Here's why. I'm going to read it to you because this is what I discovered. Pores can appear wider or tighter sometimes, as temperature changes do cause the skin to either soften or contract, but this effect is only temporary. The good news is that pores are only really noticeable when they are congested. So when you have stuff in them, that's when you're going to see them. And the best way to improve the appearance of clogged pores is by using a beta hydroxy acids, which is a BHA type exfoliator. And this works to loosen clogs by binding to the sebum and oils, congesting the pores, minimizing their appearance over time. Now I have noticed that when I use my Paula's Choice BHA exfoliator, my pores do seem to look smaller, even though they're not actually smaller. So if you're worried about that area on your face, I would actually recommend going with a pore filling type product to help minimize their appearance. Some of my favorites are the Benefit Professional. I also have a video that I did on drugstore dupes for the Benefit Professional. e.l.f. has a blurring primer that is really good for minimizing the appearance of pores, but overall there's not really anything you can do to get rid of them. Let's just face it that we are stuck with them. They're here to stay. So I hope this video was beneficial for you and that it helped to uncover a lot of the myths and lies that a lot of us have been led to believe by the beauty industry, and a lot of misinformation that has been out there also. And if you have any myths that you have believed in the past yourself, or common ones that you have debunked, feel free to share yours below as well. Thank you for being here, for taking the time to watch. I look forward to seeing you again very soon, and I'm wishing you a beautifully blessed day ahead.